Hi guys, welcome to our channel. Today we'll be looking at Geroge Russell and his chances at bagging the World Championship. So sit tight and watch till the end. Well, there is still Max Verstappen, the current winner, but we feel that Russell has been largely looked upon, and this time we've brought you all the reasons why. So let's begin with the video. Can Geroge Russell beat Lewis Hamilton this season? Well, this year the people at the factory in Mercedes are delighted to work with Russell with a major upgrade, and it seems like Geroge Russell might have leverage this time. Geroge Russell is commended for his skills and is considered one of the best drivers there is, with a huge potential to bag the trophy this year. We all know in the back of our minds that he has not been able to quite show it well, but this time around, it seems like we'll see him beat Lewis Hamilton this year. Now the question is, could this young star beat the 7-time world champion? If you look at the history of his career, you might notice that since his debut in 2019 with Willliam Racing partnered with Robert Kubica, hasn't seen a good start with Williams FW42. The car was the slowest in the field and lacked pace. In most races, Kubica was the only on-track competition Geroge Russell had. But even when Russell was a rookie, he managed to easily dominate his teammates in every aspect. The aerodynamic failures in the car made it hard for both the drivers to make it through the Q1 of all season, even though Russell got close in Hungary. The performance of his car is relatively lower than the others on the track, but in 2020 we saw him in a new and improved car, working his way through the course, and in 2021 he had a car that performed well, where he managed to compete with his skills. Well, Russell throughout his career has managed to outperform all of his teammates and made the best of what he had. We can agree on one thing, that we will never ever be able to forget his performance at the Silverstone, where the crowd stood still and the eyes were on Russell. The extreme pressure from the organization and technically with the car. Well, the man himself warned and said that he has no chance of beating Lewis Hamilton. This year, Geroge Russell has replaced Mercedes driver Valtteri Bottas, who has made the switch to Alfa Romeo. Valtteri Bottas said, "I don't see anyone else beating Lewis in the near future in the same machinery." Geroge will adjust well, but because he has been with Mercedes for some years, but beating Lewis is not easy. I've experienced that. It's his consistency in his performances. Bottas went on to commend Hamilton's consistency, nature, and said that his tire management is a special skill and combined with his talent and effort keeps him an undisputed champion. Bottas is arguably one of the best drivers in the game, but he was very often seen playing second during his time at Mercedes, accepting Hamilton's dominance. Well, he sure does respect him a lot. Bottas also commented on his new place at Alfa Romeo, where he said, "So now it is different and a fresh start for me, and having that lead role is a good feeling. A part of me is always going to miss working at Mercedes. Now I've started looking back at my time there, I've tried to take all the positive moments we had. I'm sure with the experience I have with Williams and after 5 years of Mercedes, I'll be able to help the team move forward. I feel really comfortable with my role. Yes, there is responsibility and I have commitments to the team, but it is exciting," he added. Well, what he means is that Hamilton is the best driver in the game right now and he will win this season too. Well, after the fall at Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, he went dark and we didn't hear from him at all, but in the true spirit of sportsmanship, he's back to claim the spot again. We thought that Max Verstappen was the only one he had to beat this season, but Geroge Russell might steal the show, and the time here is how. Well, Russell has an experience of 3 years in the F1 and Mercedes seems to know his potential. First, there are a lot of stars under his belt. He was the Formula 4 champion in 2014, he also won the GP3 championship in 2017 and Formula 2 championship in 2018. Now, even though he might not be standing tall at the podium, he does give Nicholas Latifi a hard time keeping up, or the time when Robert Kubica was chasing shadows during their time together. He might just be able to beat Hamilton this year on his new ride. Well, Bottas always criticized as he was way back and off from Hamilton's level, but Russell might just do it right. There's no doubt that Russell might give Hamilton a tough time, if not beat him. Oh, and do you remember the part where Hamilton sometimes has a heck of a time trying to pass Norris during the 2021 season? That's what I'm talking about. Now, Lando Norris is one of the brightest bunch dominating Daniel Ricciardo, but Geroge Russell did manage to beat Norris in F2 when they had the same type of machinery. This shows how capable Russell is. Well, on the other hand, it is sad that Lewis might not be as focused this year with all the things that happened last year. The whole thing where FIA's lack of judgment and Michael Massey's verdict has surely put a dent on his focus this year and might keep him unmotivated. I mean, he could be more focused this year to become 8th world champion, but when Russell is already going through his first day in the new team, Hamilton is nowhere to be seen. His fans are already saying Russell's the better driver, and now he has a better car. Well, Russell used to be in a Williams, and now that he would be in a better car, I'm sure that he might turn the season over to his favor. Recently, in Russell's last race at Bahrain, saw how Russell went to be in 4th place. It was highly unlikely for Hamilton to secure the top 3 position in the very last lap. Luckily, Sergio Perez was hit by a mechanical problem which took Max out together with him in the last lap. The race also saw Mercedes cars facing a lot of issues to keep up the pace. Well, Russell might be on the 4th this time, but he was right behind Hamilton, and it looks promising for the driver. This is Russell's first debut as a Mercedes driver, and this one is his career best. And with improvement in the cars, I'm very sure that this will look better. George Russell himself said in an interview, riding a Mercedes is like riding a roller coaster. The dude went from the 9th position to position 4 in the Bahrain Grand Prix, while his teammate Lewis Hamilton stood on 3rd. He said, if you look at the Mercedes, there's a vast area of the floor because they've got such slim side pods. He told the F1 Nation podcast, there is not much there to hold the floor up. It could be that they're getting more of this flex, which is creating a problem to control the aerodynamics of the back of the car. Russell only overtook 1 car in Bahrain. Kevin Magnussen's Haas was unable to give a comprehensive answer on how the W13 handled the race. The only person I overtook was Kevin in the Haas, and I think they had quite a pace advantage, he said. Well, I am sure at this point that Russell can beat Hamilton. No doubt that Russell has outqualified many drivers on the course. We don't know what the future holds, but this season will surely be interesting with Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, and Max Verstappen on the track. What do you predict? Who will win this year's championship? Comment below. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. And hey, if you're new here and love watching content like this, then please consider subscribing to us and hitting that notification bell. It might not seem much to you, but it really helps us. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time.